See, the thing that upsets me most is that I think anyone under the age of 25 will just assume that Robert De Niro barely exists to sell cars and be called Anne Fokker.
They might go back as far as 20 years in his film history, and they'll catch Jackie Brown at least.
No, Jackie Brown is 23 years, thus ruining your entire argument.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. You caught me and Phil having a spontaneous, off-the-cuff conversation there.
I mean, we were until you said, stop a minute, I'm going to start recording this.
Welcome to Don't Let's Chat. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Don't Let's Chat with me, Ben Baker.
And me, Phil Cattrall. Hello, hi.
There is so much rotten rubbish going on, changing every day, and we're just two blokes who are trying to make sense of it.
Fair.
And basically what we do is we look at a load of things that happen on this day, find some top 10 lists and charts and stuff, and try and work out if it's just better to hide in the past.
Or hide in the present.
Yeah, you could be a man, or you could be a Azerbaijani railway.
What?
Actually, no, it's all days. It's Azerbaijani Railway Day.
Wow, that was, I mean, you know what, Ben? That was seamless.
I know, it was. My trousers are seamless.
Let's put some trousers on, please.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's also International Day for Natural Disaster Reduction.
Good.
So if you're thinking of doing a natural disaster, please don't.
How do you...
typhoon and earthquake, you know.
How do you reduce them?
I just stop doing it.
Right, no, I'm. You know what, never mind.
And it's also Paramedics Day,
Oh,
but only in Poland.
Oh.
So I don't know if anyone's standing outside and clapping for them in Polish. We just don't know.
Good, well done.
It's time to check out what happened on this day, and you'll be pleased to know in 409, which the idea that there was ever just 409 years is...
I mean,
it's baffling.
It's quite... imagine how refreshing it'd be, though, you know.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Unfortunately, it was marred somewhat by Vandals and Allens crossing the Pyrenees to appear in Hispania.
Ben,
What?
speak for all of our listeners when I say I know what a Vandal is. What's an Allen in this context?
Well, an Allen is an Iranian nomadic pastoral person of antiquity.
Ah.
Off the top of my head.
Off the top. You know what? I'm pleased you've prepared.
And if you're interested, the Latin for Allens is Alani. This helps.
Is that... I guess we don't know how it would be pronounced because Latin's a dead language, but would that not be like Alani rather than Alani?
Do I get to say Alan then?
You can say Alan as much as you want.
I know I can. It's a free world.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on swiftly to 1792.
Ooh.
When the Old Farmers Almanac was first published and edited by Robert Thomas.
Wow.
Published every September, the Old Farmers Almanac has been published continuously since that date, making it one of the oldest continually published periodicals in North America.
I mean, that's almost the founding of the nation that when that appeared. I've seen Hamilton. Yeah. I know about these things. It's
apparently a number of analyses have concluded that the forecasts in the Old Farmers Almanac were not very accurate.
Really?
So, yeah. It's one of them things, it's like, you know, old Scrutick's predictions for 2020, even though he died in 1832. It's like, a man with the name Idris Elba will be born and win an award for acting in a sky.
Oh, so like Nostradamus style nonsense, basically. Stuff that could later be interpreted by someone else in a different way,
Yeah, but less copyright infringing. Up to 1884, and Greenwich in London was established as a universal time meridian of longitude.
Wow.
With that in mind, we come to our first top 10 of the evening, and it's the top 10 best times.
Good.
At 10,
yep.
It's 5:15.
It's pretty good.
At 9, about 10.
Fair enough.
At 8, it's supper time.
Less specific, but okay.
7, Time and the Rani.
No. Absolutely not.
6, Chico.
Idiot.
5, 37 minutes past 11.
That's...
At 4, it's 3. And still in at 3, it's 4.
Yeah, no, that's the correct way around, yeah.
At 2, it's kissing time. And at number 1, there's no change. At the top of the best times, it's time to get a new watch. And I'd like to thank the 2,500 people who sent in their entry forms, filling those best times in, and you'll be getting your complimentary COVID tests in the post.
I don't even know what to do with that.
What is the matter with you? Have you minus respect? Joe Dolce, who was born on this day in 1947. For those who are too young to remember, well done. Joe Dolce had a number 1 hit with Shut Up Your Face, which famously beat Ultravox's Vienna to the top spot as if it, naturally, deserved it.
Yeah.
Because Medjugorje stood in a tie next to some fog. But it's always coming up in those the worst songs of all time ever lists. And it's fine. It's a novelty song.
Yeah,
it's
all right.
It's daft. It's a mildly racist. The Beatles. Do you remember every week these started happen? It was great. It's a very Beatley day. Our pal Paul Abbott would be most Beatles pleased with some of the events happened on this day in history. 1963 was actually when the phrase Beatlemania was coined, after they appeared on Sunday night at the London Palladium, topping the bill and transmitted to an audience of 15 million viewers. And also, in 1974, was a man who made the Beatles kind of massive in America overnight. Ed Sullivan died. It's hard to imagine. We just didn't have those kind of shows. Like Ed Sullivan was just like a couple of hours on a Sunday, and it's like 70, 80 million people watched, and instantly made anyone who was on it like super famous. And obviously that's how the Beatles became such big news in the Americas.
It was a really big shoe, Ben. It was a really big shoe. Well, that is not all the Beatlesisms, Ben.
What? There's further Beatles news?
There is. Because
wait, let me go to my Beatles post. Climbs. Look out above Beatles City. Right. I am Beatle sat and Beatle prepared for your Beatle news.
So on this day in 2008, Ringo Starr announced that he would no longer be signing things for people.
Oh, God. Is it that long ago?
It is that long ago. It is 12 glorious years.
No more fan mail. Don't send me anything. I won't sign any more traction engines with a face. I mean, they were just getting murdered at post.
I do like the idea of people posting actual trains to Ringo Starr.
Oh, dear.
Some poor postman trying to lug a tank engine up his drive.
Yeah. Thanks for the railway track. I hung it on my wall. So, I mean, out of interest, just have a quick. How much does a Ringo autograph go for? On eBay?
Okay, so let's.
Because I'm assuming that was a huge part of it.
I'm having a quick look. I'm looking at completed listings. This is interesting. So there was one that was on for £380, but it just says best offer accepted. So we don't know how much that was paid for.
£12.50.
Well, the first one that actually sold with an actual price on it was £82. £82 for a Ringo Starr Beatles autograph plus other bits.
Okay, when was that from? Was that an actual?
Yeah, that was August, 1st of August.
No, I mean, when was the autograph?
Oh, hang on. I'll have a look.
Does it have Beatles stank on it?
It says here, I'm no Beatles fan. This was all in a job lot of Beatles items that I picked up in at auction that had about 200 items of Beatles from a collector who was selling up. That's all one
200
sentence.
Beatles?
Yeah.
All the Beatles.
So there's a couple of promotional pictures, a Beatles anthology It looks like a beer mat, but it clearly isn't. And then just a bit of paper with Ringo written on it, which I assume is a signature. £82. Next after that one is two entries for Funko Pops, which are not signed.
God.
And then some Paul Carrack pictures. So that's good. In terms of ones that are currently still for sale, if you want all 4 Beatles autographs on one piece of paper, that'll be £2,300. If you want a banknote signed by John Lennon and Ringo Starr, that'll be £4,000.
Plus the cost of the original note.
Indeed. Yeah, the next one after that is Ringo Starr autograph, original hand-signed photo. Hand-signed.
He stopped using his teeth after...
Not like with your foot.
You think Ringo's up there in terms of celebrity autographs when it comes to, like, top ones available?
Well, okay. So
I love it when you go, well, because it implies facts are on the route.
Let's have a look at what is currently going for the highest price on eBay. Now we're pushing.
So this is currently things that are still.
This is currently live. We're going to get into what things have sold for in a minute, but I'm interested in some of these live ones. Mm-hmm. Now, we are pushing the definition of celebrity a bit with these first 2. How much do you think, Ben, an authentic letter signed by Karl Marx would go for?
You know what? I wouldn't even begin to
have a guess.
Like it was an original manuscript or something, like a couple of grand, but just for a signature, like 500?
Higher.
1,000.
You're still out by an order of magnitude.
Oh, good. 8 grand?
Keep going.
28 grand.
Higher.
48 grand.
Higher.
248 grand.
You've blown it. It's 65 grand. 65 grand.
Oh, I don't get this signature.
Plus,
and also communism is crushed.
Or best offer.
I mean, I could offer someone. I don't want to take it.
Next one from there. Howard Carter, original Tutankhamun type script with Carter's annotation and drawing. So, Howard Carter, the man who discovered Tutankhamun's tomb.
Yeah.
22.5 grand for that typescript.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty. It's a bit of history.
Signed guitar from Bruce Springsteen, 19 grand for you, sir. 19
grand. Guitar by Howard Carter. I'm like, well, can you stop signing my stuff, Howard? It's just really annoying.
Yeah, 19 grand. 19 grand. Signed photo of the Rat Pack, signed by Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, as far as I can see here. 18 grand.
I wonder if it'd be more for a signed picture of the Brat Pack.
If you could get them all to sign it, because I reckon Rob Lowe would hold out. I reckon.
I've seen a video of Rob Lowe on the internet, and he did not hold out at all.
Ben.
Do people even remember that Rob Lowe did his career was like ruined because he did a sex film.
And then he did Wayne's World and it was all forgiven.
Yeah. Basically just waited like 18 months and they were like, fine again.
So how much would you pay for a signed portrait of Winston Churchill circa 1898? How much would you pay?
1898, so, young Churchill.
He was 23 years old.
Still probably an irascible old sod, but...
No, we all remember the film Young Churchill, and he was in it.
And he went good. I'm glad. I would expect to pay 5 figures for that.
You're wrong. It's £12,500.
5 figures.
Is that 5?
12.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I'm bad at maths.
Bad at Churchill. Go to Churchill jail.
Right, Ben. Before we finish, there are some subcategories to autographs here, and I'm going to let you pick one, and we're going to have a look at a couple from there. Would you like film, historical, military, music, politics, science/space, sport, theatre and stage, TV, or comedy?
I mean, there's all of my opposite interests in there.
There is.
Except for spider milking.
Yeah.
Comedy, I think, is probably...
Now, that's actually the first one on the list, but I left it until last because I knew you'd pick it. So,
yeah. Yeah, I think you probably would.
Let's have a look at sold items.
God.
Ben, for just a shade under £1,000, just a shade, you could have had, and I'm sending you the link.
Oh, it's Dad's granddad's pals.
It's all of the signatures in a frame of the cast of Dad's Army.
Law, Dunn, Lebezier, Beck, Ridley, Laurie, Lavender, Signed, Aftal, all the classics. Oh God, I've just seen what's underneath it.
What's underneath it?
Well, on mine, it's Bob Grant on the buses signed vintage photograph 10x8. Which is going for £140 plus £2.25 postage and packing, 8th of the 12th, 95.
And if you want Bernard Bresslaw, that'll only cost you £200. So, there's quite a lot of carry-on memorabilia in the comedy section.
A big market for that sort of stuff. I was assuming it would be, like £12.50 for a drawing of Nick Wilton having a bath.
What do you think, Ben, was
very little generally?
Well, yeah. So Dad's Army, that would have been difficult to get a complete series because Beck died during production.
Yeah.
What else would have been difficult to get a complete set of, do you reckon? I know Babylon 5 was quite difficult because quite a lot of the cast died relatively young from that. So getting a complete set of autographs on that was a tricky one.
I mean, I'm assuming a signed Bill Hicks DVD would be next to impossible.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yes. I hadn't even thought about the crossing over of when media existed versus when the artist existed.
All right, a signed Frankie Howerd UMD disc. Look it up, kids. Look it up.
UMD. You can't get anything on UMD signed.
No, you can't then, though. That's why he died as a farmer.
Yeah, it's true. Oh dear. That's it.
That's
the end. That is the end of that digression. And I'm very sorry.
Is that the end of the section?
I think so. I mean, yeah, I don't have a big finish for this one.
Tell you what, look up how much a Jimmy Carter, former US president, signature is going for on eBay right now.
Let's have a look. Jimmy Carter.
Because it ties in very nicely. 1978. Jimmy Carter answered callers' questions on National Public Radio.
Oh,
presumably those questions were, "Who are you? What are you doing in my house?"
And his response was, "I'm not in your house. I'm on radio." Right. There's a number of them going for about 700 or 750 quid. The only one that's sold in the last couple of months went for £12.99.
There you go. What do you think of that, Jimmy? That's another question. What's his biggest leaf? Who would a hit with "Gonna Make You an Offer You Can't Refuse" in 1973? Jimmy Helms, obviously. What is the best faith? No, actually, nobody would answer that question. That's ridiculous. Alert! Alert! Alert!
Oh, God, not again.
It's Robot. I wondered if he was going to turn up this week.
Yeah.
Or whether he's been sacked off as a very poor idea. Yeah, in case you didn't listen last week, we've got his own fancy robot that we found in... Don't say a skip. Don't say a skip. Don't say a skip. A mini skip? Anyway, he just does the kind of announcements around here, and he's found something that he wants to tell us about. What is it, Robot? Unsolicited celebrity advice not required. What does that mean? Unsolicited celebrity advice? It's just very strange.
I mean, look, Ben, I'm not the biggest fan of Robot, but it does seem like a useful way to segue into an idea that doesn't naturally flow from anywhere else.
No. So a celebrity's been in touch with a question.
Celebrity message begins.
Hello there, Brian May from Queen here. Just wanted to ask you a question. I was wondering, when I was doing some astrology and, diddling with Anita Dobson and that, what's the longest time someone has ever been trapped? I was just wondering because I've been stuck on the top of Buckingham Palace since I did that excellent guitar solo at the Queen's Jubilee, and I'll be honest with you, I'm sick of her looking out the window and laughing at me. She keeps throwing quail's eggs at me. Anyway, all the best. Hello to your wife. Oh, sorry, no wives. Too many wives. Brian May, then. Brian May from Queen.
It sounded just like him. I just want to check. Where's Brian May from? Where's he from? He is from Hampton.
Yeah, that is a very Very Hampton.
But of course, he was educated in Hampton. And then after that, he went to university in London. So yeah, that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense that's how he sounds.
Anyway, no, unsolicited celebrity advice. Brian May has asked us, what is the longest time someone has ever been trapped? Do we have an answer?
I mean, well, let's see. I made a list.
Right, brilliant. Is it top 10?
I was just interested. Yeah, it's 10. There's 10 of them. It's great.
Brilliant. Right, 10.
Number 10, right, the Endurance Expedition. This is a tricky one. You know Ernest Shackleton. You've heard of him, right?
I'm aware of his work and his baths.
They got stranded and they had to get from an island to another inhabited island. It was 1,000 miles from where they started off. Now, I can't find exactly how many days it was, but it was quite a long time, so I want to include it in the list. That's why it's at number 10. So even though it's not an exact number, it's at number 10.
Winning. Number 9.
Number 9, right. Harrison O'Kaney. O'Kaney?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know him.
I don't know either. I've just seen it written down. So there was what was it called? It was called the Jackson 4, not the Jackson 5, like you thought. It was a tugboat, which sank off the coast of Nigeria after capsizing, and the ship's cook was in the loo when the boat capsized, and got trapped in a 4-foot square bubble of air.
Oh no!
Yeah, so he was trapped there for 3 days, but they got him out. And bafflingly, well, not bafflingly, he was the only one on the boat that had actually survived due to being trapped in a toilet. So.
You know what? I'm very, very claustrophobic, and
yeah, that's not good.
I'd happily die. I'd prefer just die. It'd be easier.
So that is number 9. That is 3 days. 3 days trapped in a thing.
Okay, number 8.
Number 8, Aaron Ralston. You've heard of this one?
Is that the guy from 127
That's the 127 hours guy. Yeah. Who got trapped while doing some climbing and had to cut his own hand off. He was actually basically trapped for about 6 days, which is longer than 127 hours.
I was going to say that's not 127 hours, is it?
It's not. Well, 127 hours is 5.29 days, so we'll call it reasonably accurate.
Yeah, we'll round up for change.
Exactly. So we all know that one. Cut his arm off. So that's 6 days. Number 8, 6 days.
Number 7,
Kivli Papajon. That's his name, in Cyprus, who got trapped in a lift for 6 days.
Oh. I got trapped in a lift for about 20 minutes once, and honestly, I still have nightmares about it. The
lifts in the office building in the centre of town that I used to work in, it was a nice modern building, and the lifts were very nice, but they did have a tendency to get jammed. Because you had there was a big atrium in the middle, you could hear the buzzing of the alarm whenever they got stuck.
God.
But yeah, so thankfully, Mrs. Papajon had some fruit, vegetables, and bread in a shopping bag that she was bringing home, so she was able to hold out until she could be rescued. So
she still had to piss in her lift.
She did still have to piss in a lift.
Number 6,
Julieanne Capeki. Anyway, it's another name that I cannot pronounce. So, Christmas Eve, 1971. Lancer Flight 508 is struck by lightning, disintegrates in midair, and Julieanne successfully lands while still strapped to her seat. But she's landed in the middle of the Peruvian rainforest. So she had some sweets, and she found a stream. So she spent...
And she ruined some rainforest. Yay!
9 days she spent before she found an encampment, then met some lumber workers who gave her first aid and took her to an inhabited area where she was airlifted to hospital. There is a film called Wings of Hope, directed by Werner Herzog, who apparently was supposed to be on that flight before cancelling at the last minute. Yeah. So...
Blimey, Charlie.
I have never seen the film Wings of Hope, and I do not want to, because it sounds horrible.
No. Yeah, because we all know what a happy-go-lucky soul Werner Herzog is.
Exactly.
Number 5.
Number 5, the Robertson family. So, back in 1971 again, a British dairy farmer called Dougal Robertson decided to take his family on a boat trip with no particular plan, no particular preparations made, despite the fact that Dougal had been in the merchant navy. So, wife, 4 children on a wooden boat. They spent 17 months sailing from port to port, and then they encountered a group of killer whales off the coast of the Galapagos Islands who absolutely trashed their boat. Because it turns out killer whales are bastards.
Who knew? Oh, dear.
So all they had left was a lifeboat and a small dinghy, 6 days' worth of food, survived on rainwater and hunted turtles, hoping to hit one of the Pacific currents to push them towards the Americas. 16 days later, the raft became unusable, so they all had to get into the dinghy, and then they were finally rescued by Japanese fishermen July 23rd, 1972, meaning that they spent 38 days after the killer whale attack before they successfully made it back to civilization.
I hate this list. I genuinely hate it. I hate it with all the passion. No, it's bringing out a lot of the fears. That's number 3.
Number 3, Stephen Callaghan. The
former Prime Minister, we all remember.
different Callaghan. So, Stephen Callaghan sailed the Atlantic solo in his boat, and then he started his trip home, and a whale or a shark put up a hole. What we're learning, Ben, is that the animals of the sea hate us and wish us to perish.
Correct.
So the boat started to sink. He managed to grab survival gear out of it in a 6-foot circular raft. He was 800 miles west of the Canary Islands, heading further away from them. He fished with a spear gun, made water with a solar still. Day 14, he signalled a passing ship, which ignored him and kept going.
No.
After a month, he drifted out of the shipping lanes. By day 50, he was struggling badly with dehydration in the tropical waters and struggling to patch a hole in his raft. So he lost a third of his body weight, was finally spotted by some fishermen off the coast of Guadeloupe. As birds and fish circled his raft, foraging for the fish guts, he toshed back into the sea. He'd been adrift for 76 days.
Can you imagine being on that original boat that was after 14 days and going, is that a put? No, it's carry on, don't worry about it. That is upsetting.
It is.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. It's I don't
Sorry.
like it. Do you remember, Ben, 2 years ago, there was that Thai football team that got stuck in a cave?
Oh, God, yeah. God, I've forgotten all about that.
Do you know why they got stuck in the cave?
No, I don't know.
Apparently, they just decided to go and explore it.
Fair. I mean,
apparently,
that's how we found all them cave paintings.
They were there with an adult, though. The soccer team's coach was there and went, "Should we go and look in that cave, lads?" "Yeah, let's go and have a look in the cave." Oh.
Is there a reason why people don't come in here? Yeah. Should we leave someone outside? No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
What do you remember the most significant thing about that team getting trapped in there, Ben?
No. What?
The most significant thing, in my opinion, about that was Elon Musk designed a submarine to rescue them.
It's Pedo Guy.
And when a local diver went, probably not helpful, Elon Musk called him a paedophile.
Yes, I forgot. God, I'd forgotten all about that. Yeah. At 2,
the Chilean miners. We all remember the Chilean miners. Ben.
Yeah, they're not as popular as used to be.
Yeah. They hold the world record, according to Guinness, for the longest time trapped underground. How many days do you think it was that they were trapped underground, Ben?
Please don't make me think about.
I want you to think, what would a funny number be that they could have been trapped for?
Is it 69?
It is 69 days.
God. There's a reason why they've not made that biopic yet.
Have they not, though? Have they not?
They probably have, to be fair.
Yeah, they have. It's called The 33. It was released in 2015.
Oh, good God.
Who's in it? Antonio Banderas, Juliette Binoche, James Brolin, Lou Diamond Phillips.
Top tier. Bloody hell.
Cote de Pablo off of NCIS, and Gabriel Byrne into music by James Horner. So, it's all a pretty...
I'm sure it is. I still don't want to watch it ever.
No, I don't want to watch it. I mean, once again, they all made it out, so that's good.
Yeah. Bear in mind, I saw that one where... Is number one Ryan Reynolds?
No. What
was that one called? Was it Ryan Reynolds?
It was, what was it called?
Trapped in a Box.
It was Buried. It was just called Buried. I thought it was called Buried, but yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have not, because...
I won't tell you he dies at the end of it then. It's good to know. It's a very good film, but I did not like it because I am very claustrophobic.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean... Wasn't there a CSI episode that did basically the same thing?
Yes, they buried Eric Squarejaw. That was a Quentin Tarantino.
There we go. See, it's all coming together.
Yeah, Eric's his real name, isn't it? What was his character called?
Nick Stokes.
Oh yeah, Nick Stokes. Yeah,
who, as we all remember, his personality he was from Texas.
He was from Texas. He was from Texas, yeah. And number one, the word I don't even want to. I don't want to know.
We're doing it anyway.
Oh, go on.
Number one, Ada Blackjack. So Ada Blackjack was an Alaskan.
I ate a blackjack earlier, and then I had some fruit salads.
Well done, Army and Navy sweets. Yes, we all know it's all good. So Ada Blackjack was a member of the Alaskan indigenous Inupiat people. I do not know how to pronounce it.
I don't know why you're asking me.
Well, so she was hired by a couple of Canadians on an expedition to claim some islands, which are now actually Russian, so that didn't work.
That's the correct way of grouping Canadians.
Yeah. So 5 members of the expedition were left on the island as a territorial claim, but started to run out of rations. 3 of them went off in search of help. Ada Blackjack and took care of one that was not very well, who later died, leaving her alone on the island. She stayed there on the island alone, on an Alaskan island alone for 2 years. 2 years.
Lord.
So there was the risk of polar bear attacks. She learned to hunt seals and survived off their meat until she was finally rescued 2 years after she'd been left there. And apparently, after she had been rescued, she did not receive a hero's welcome. Instead, she was criticised for not saving the life of the male crewmate who died. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's
pretty bad. Pretty bad. So to answer Brian May's question, if indeed he has been on the roof of Buckingham Palace for the last 18 years... He wins. He wins because the closest that anyone has been stranded for is 2 years.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Terrifying facts to end this week with. No time to discuss the Wide Awake Club beginning in 1984 with everyone's favourites Arabella Warner and James Baker. No time to talk about in 2000 when Toni Braxton allegedly pulled out the Mobos after one of her breast implants exploded.
Oh, no.
No time to talk about when Muse sued Celine Dion for calling their new Vegas show Muse.
I mean, I don't know what she thought would happen.
I mean, Matt Bellamy said we don't want anyone to think we're Celine Dion's backing band.
Fair.
And even after offering them £32,000 for the rights, it ended up being called A New Day and became the most successful Vegas residency of all time, grossing over $385 million.
It's a shame there's no time for us to learn that.
And of course, in 2020, a puppy and a kitten became best friends and had adventures. I mean, I don't know that for a fact. I'm just hoping. Because it's a nice way to end this edition of Total Let's Chat. In which we've learned a lot about horrific things.
Oh, dear.
Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon, patreon.com/Don'tLet'sChat. You get these episodes up to a week early. That's our intention for this year.
Mm-hmm.
And also extras and bonuses. We've got bonus chats stuff we recorded. And if you just want to send a couple of quid, like a coffee, it's Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com. Now, I keep cutting that link out at the end bit because I keep saying co and then FE. It's not that. That's a different thing. I mean, I don't know if you're sending money to there, but I'm assuming it's some sort of warlord. I mean, it's not.
Fair enough.
Don't send money to warlords. Send them to us. Thank you to everyone who's keep supporting us. And if you want more of this stuff, then Patreon's a place to go. Or just hang about outside our house. I can't let you in, unfortunately, due to rules. But, I can do a face through the window at you. And
he will do that.
Don't forget, if you've not heard it already, Phil is going to be a guest on our pal Paul's new podcast, the Head Ballet podcast, talking about some old shit. It's robots, isn't it? It's robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's robots.
It's robots.
Beep boop, I will be listening in.
Oh, here we go. I could go off some people, or robots. And until next time, I have been some Beatles.
And I have been attacked by killer whales.
Oh, same as every week. Oh, write something new.
Bo.
Goodbye.
Bye. Ah, my boat.
My boat. Hello there, Brian May from Queen here. What's the longest time someone has ever been trapped? You see, I've been up on that roof at Buckingham Palace since 2002's Jubilee, and frankly, I'm bleeding sick of her throwing pigeons at me. All the best. I know. Our voice has changed slightly.
Oops, the voice has changed. Bastions of professionalism. Like, you could pick any voice to do.
Right. Shut up, I'm doing it, Dad, I'm doing it.
Sorry, I'll calm down. Oh.